Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is Saturday, so it's versus today. Today, since I didn't do one last week, this po- this poll win for this one was like 2 weeks ago. So, anyways, today's versus is Godzilla versus King Kong. Not the movie coming out, just in general, Godzilla versus King Kong. Um, how am I gonna do this one? Is I'm gonna do it by eras. So for all three. I'm gonna do like early years, like the Showa era for Godzilla, like the first movie and stuff for Kong, and then the Heisei era from like the 80s and 90s with the King Kong movies from the 70s and the 80s, and then the Million era and the modern era for Godzilla versus the two newer Kong movies. So let's start in the beginning, from like the early early 1900s. Let's start with King Kong. King Kong only had two movies. He had only his own two movies, and then he had two movies in the show era. His first two movies, of course, classic. Um, it started kaiju movies basically by themselves, which was an awesome movie. 1933 King Kong movie. Son of Kong I've never seen before, so I can't say anything about it. But I have heard it was kind of a rushed movie, so it wasn't that good. But it was kind of the same deal with Godzilla and then Godzilla Rise Again. Godzilla Rise Again was kind of rushed because they wanted a sequel to Godzilla. So they're similar in that part. But then what in the Showa era for King Kong, King Kong escapes and Godzilla versus King Kong versus Godzilla from the 60s. I didn't like Kong that much from that era, from the 60s. I didn't like his suit. He was alright, but he wasn't like my favorite King Kong. So has a downgrade. Godzilla, on the other hand, has kind of an ups on him when it comes to that with me. Because I like a lot of movies from the 60s and early 70s with Godzilla. So Godzilla wins the beginning part just because he had so many more movies and stuff. Yeah, kind of doesn't affect combat. I think in the 60s and stuff, I think he was more relevant. King Kong is still cool though, but I just prefer Godzilla from that era. See, and then the Heisei era for Godzilla versus King Kong, two movies from that era. King Kong was okay from the 76 movie. I haven't seen it yet, but what I've seen of it, it was an okay movie, but it was nowhere near as good as 1984 Godzilla Returns. And then I hear how the 86 movie's garbage, and I gotta give um that era for the Godzilla because the Heisei era is easily my favorite era for Godzilla. Um, I love the Godzilla movies from the 80s through the 90s. It's just a great era for Godzilla, in my opinion. So Godzilla usually wins the 80s and 90s, or yeah, the mid 1900s, and then I, when it comes to the 70s and when it comes to the 50s and the first era to show up, I changed my mind. Actually, that's kind of a tie because that's the golden age for both monsters. But Heisei Ears goes to Godzilla. The 90s, the 2000s through the 2010s, two great eras for both monsters. Starting with King Kong 2005, which is a great back to where King Kong started off with. I love the 2005 King Kong movies. It's one of my favorite Kong designs in movies in general. Versus Millennium era for Godzilla. Not 1998 Godzilla movie. That's a whole different ball game. But the Millennium era for Godzilla 2000 and Mechagodzilla versus Godzilla. That era, the early 2000s and Final Wars. Um, I like the Millennium era, but my favorite movie of the 2000s of the two monsters is easily King Kong 2005. So King Kong has an advantage there. And then you go to the 2010s. it's kind of harder there because Shin Godzilla is one of my favorite Godzilla movies, and of course 2014 Godzilla made me like Godzilla again since I was a kid, and then Kong Skull Island is a great movie. So for me, Kong actually wins because he's the one who got me into monsters around the time. So Kong wins the 2000s to 2010s. It's because of that. So it's a tie. And when it comes to the tiebreaker, I love Kong. Like I had to give it to Godzilla. His heritage and he has 10 times the amount of movies. Kong is good, but Godzilla easily wins this um because he started his own little universe before. He had his own universe before MCU even came up with it. People forget about that. Back in the 60s with Mothra versus Godzilla, Ghidorah, three-headed monster, destroy all monsters. So Godzilla to me, his legacy is a little bit bigger than Khan's, but Khan is the American monster. But I just love what Godzilla has done for big monster movies. So Godzilla won his versus this week. Um, yeah, he easily did. Don't get me wrong, I love King Kong, but Godzilla easily wins it because um he has a bigger legacy. Yeah, King Kong has a good legacy, but Godzilla is incredible. When it comes to monster movies, and King Kong has some good movies, but like I said, there's a few that didn't stand the test of time like some Godzilla movies have, and that's why Godzilla wins his versus. So, we new versus next Saturday. I put the poll up later today or tomorrow, and yeah, please like, subscribe, comment, keep hit the notification bell for the next video, and I'll talk to you guys next video. Bye.